yes. Okay. Drop in the chat. You know, just give me some words in the chat of like what your favorite part was. I would love to hear. And it could be something that happened on the virtual live stream, or it could be something that happened outside of the virtual live stream. It could be that you know, tried your adaptogen elixir for the first time, or it could be, I just want to hear what, okay, Chris, yes, I can't remember. Yes, so good. Seeing everyone, Christine, yes, being together, laughing so much. Good, group bonding, the penny training, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, good. Okay. You guys, so much, all of it. Ashley, that's great. Yes. So, I mean, really what I wanted to come on to tonight and talk about, because I don't want to just like do a play-by-play of a recap, because this stuff is available for you guys for 30 days, 60 days. Are the recordings, did they send them out yet, Amanda, do you know? Or else we're going to get a link with the recordings coming out. I was flying this afternoon, so I didn't see if they came out. But
yeah, they were going to send them out.
As long as you're registered, you'll get a link. And I'm sure that, you know, they'll be available for quite a period of time. But my best advice to you is don't like wait until the last day of when you can watch them. Like, you want to take the time early on to watch. And if there are any sessions that you need to go back through and really check out, or really spend some time diving into, or any of the breakout sessions, I know where we were. So I was in Vegas with a whole bunch of people within Kelly and Tyler's organization. There were probably 100, 110 in the room. We watched the start panel there. That was the one that we chose to watch in the room, along with the entire general session. So I have a bunch of other breakout sessions to go watch. So what I love is, and like you guys are saying, the direction the company is going, like you said, Amanda, if you look at Eric Coover did a post 2 days ago to kick it off, and his words are, "We will always be a brand that meets the needs of the world that is, and not the world that was." And I love that. You guys, what I found most from this event was the level of like disruption, or the level of vision of where we're headed, as opposed to looking at where we have been, right? Or where, and if you saw his post, the one prior to that, he says about 18 months ago, after a couple challenging years, we began a journey to reinvent isogenics. Okay. So, and I want to just be, and this, you know, there was a lot in the room where we were, of just talking about the real transparency of the cycles of business and the cycles of growth. And, you know, maybe you've been in isogenics on like a massive upswing at some point, and then you've also been in isogenics where it's like, oh, this is a hard year, or, oh, you know, I'm spinning my wheels. Something is not working the same way that it used to be working for me, right? And I do want you to feel, because there have been times where I've thought, gosh, what's wrong with me? But just know that, like, if the company is going through a regrowth, most likely the field and the associates are also going to go through a regrowth. And I think what I loved so much about this event was that every single leader, every single person that shared during the general session training, along with Chris from the Wellbeing Collective, they were just class acts, and they were people with real content, not fluff or hype. And that's, you know, as we go into this next season, I think the biggest thing is to build using real content and using real, you know, like actual real results from this adaptogen elixir, like the cortisol, the stress levels, the stats on sleep. I mean, these are real facts, right? It's not, you know, it's maybe not flashy before and afters, because our flashy before and afters even working right now for people? Maybe not, right? Like, we definitely talked in the room about, sorry, my computer is trying to update. Later, try tonight. Okay. And, you know, we've had to evolve, right? You want your storefront, your social media to be there and always be what you're about and who you are. And people join people based on, you know, their values and their purpose and their mission. And so living that stuff out loud is so important. But then it's also about saying, hey, I got the goods and I'm here to share. And I'm just excited to, you know, to take you as a person through this system of understanding what Isagenix is and then onboarding them and helping them partner with you. Okay. And so Del Rey, I loved in her piece, she talked about becoming a go-giver and how it's really, and she said, you know, her piece was all about connecting. Del Rey Messer, she was the Woman of the Year. She will be at the September 11th event. So if you liked her style of training, if you liked some of the content she shared, she'll be sharing in person. You know, who can you bring there to see and hear from someone who's talking about becoming a go-giver, right? And she said for her, her business flipped when it wasn't so much about getting people, but it was about giving forward, right? So your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than take in payment. And I see this time and time again, the amount that you give, it comes back tenfold. You don't have to grasp, you don't have to hold on, it comes back tenfold, right? Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. And that's what I love about this business. That's what we do here. We only can be successful by serving others. We only can be successful by helping others become better. And that was like, when we were sitting in Vegas with these 110 people, I will tell you, you know, there were some of the OG originals, the Vince Lanier and Michelle Sampson, and you know, and then there was this whole huge slew of this new Hawaii team, and they've all come in the last year, 6 months, 4 months, you know, and they all were there. And then there was, you know, Cammie Smith. I know he was on this call a couple of weeks ago, Sonia Mafus and Cammie Smith's team, and these, you know, people who are just in their early days and they hit executive because their ignorance on fire. And there was just a diversity of background, but the true mission remained where it was like, gosh, we are here to change people's lives for the better. And if that's what's truly in your heart when it comes to this, you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to wonder if the exact words that you're saying are, you know, the perfect style of words that are coming out, or have the perfect filter on your social media post, or, you know, it's really just about connecting with people and having that passion. And I love that we're getting back to that. There was a segment in the room where Laura Stevens interviewed Kelly Diggerhoof about her 10-year journey in Isagenix. And she talked a lot about, you know, in the early days, how much she failed forward, and how being an entrepreneur is falling in love with throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Okay. Throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. She talked about, you know, hydrate used to be called want more energy in the early days. And Laura said, you know, Kelly, share with them something that you did early on that you threw at the wall and it didn't work. And she said she rented a booth at an expo, and she got these lime green tank tops, and she put these blinged out tank tops on that said want more energy right here across her chest, and walked around and asked people if they wanted more energy and do they want Isagenix, you know, want more energy, I have this for you, want more, like that's her blinged out shirt. And she's like, it's silly when I look back on it, but I applaud myself for just doing it. And the success comes when you just do it. And I do think that, you know, and I'm looking around some of these, I know most of you on here, and, you know, some of you have been here a long time, some of you are newer. I do think we get in our own way, and we get in our own heads about what it is that we actually do every day, right? Because if you're going to go out there and you're going to do something silly, like what Kelly would say was silly, I'm going to be here cheering you on and saying, dang, look at her, go, you know, you go, Christy, you go, Angela, you go, Stephanie. I'm just proud of you for doing it. I'm just proud of you for trying. And Kelly sat up there and said, guess what? Expos don't work. Well, I can tell you, one of our largest teams within our organization came from meeting Holly Minners at an expo. So nothing is a blanket statement, right? I met Holly at a golf expo, and then she, you know, has grown a big team, massive team. Through that, the Gretchen Heinen team came, you know, the South Dakota team, Danny Schaefer. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know. And so you're here and you're wanting to show up and do something with your business and take this to the next level and come through this wave of newness. Because I do believe, you know, between the collagen that I'm looking at and the adaptogen and these little bottles and just having, you know, Ui Tavaga from Hawaii stood up there, and she was talking about, we have this backing of a 19-year-old company, you know, celebration next year is going to be 20 years. We have the backing of a company that is starting brand new, right? People 10 years ago were starting on a 9-day cleanse. You don't have to do that. You don't. We have this new thing. And so another theme of the weekend that we found, and we had a lot of like training interspersed between the stuff. So I'm just trying to share some of the nuggets of like how the whole thing landed for me. Another big thing was the gratitude. And there is this woman on Sonia Mafus's team named Geraldine, who Sonia's like every single day. Rich and I just were like, because Geraldine sends her like 5-minute voice text messages every single day of her gratitude and she's like, I've never heard her complain. She's so grateful. Every day we're like, what's Geraldine going to say today? She's a 52-year-old woman who in 10 months hit executive 2-star this year. And she just went, and she's like, I don't even really know. I just was sharing and I was just telling. And so, you know, there was a time, and we also talked about, there was a time where you could post a before and after picture and get interest in stuff. And I do think for the brand new person, that's going to work. Right. But the rest of us, it's because I've already done that. You know, it's being consistent in living your lifestyle, sharing your vision. We know Amanda's so good at that vision and casting that wide net and knowing that you're always meeting new people. And then it's like sharing with those new people what it is that you have to offer in this next wave. Okay. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say. Okay. Yes. I also loved, so Sharon Walsh, I loved her piece because I think we're in a new season with just a powerhouse, powerful CEO who has been in the shoes of the field. I didn't actually know that about her. They when they were introducing her, they said she's built a business, so she knows what it's like to be an associate. And I can tell that she's being very smart and strategic with everything that she's doing. I really can. You know, and she's talking about adaptability and being able to make improvements and changes. And she had a quote. It's by Randy Pausch. Obstacles are not there to keep us out, but to see how badly we want it. And as a company, I think that's what it's like the company has, you know, gone through some stuff. And those obstacles, some people fold when there are obstacles. Other people say, oh, this is my test and this is my time to rise up. And this is where I'm, you know, how bad do you want it, Allison? And I felt it. Christine has felt it. I know, you know, I think about like the times where it's like you're running for a goal and then these obstacles come about and it's just the universe saying, wow, how badly do you want it? You know? And the company goes through that too. We had Cal in the room with us and Nick Kimes, who is the current start coordinator. He's actually Eric Cooper's cousin. And we, you know, they're just talking about the company as a whole and like just being so aligned right now, and the executive leadership team never having been so aligned, and the people who are there being able to just really work hand in hand to make things great for the field. Okay. And then another piece that I loved was Jessica Regner's piece, her opening. I don't know if put a 1 in the chat if you also wrote this down, because I wrote it down with a star next to it, how one of her top leaders uses the word partner with me. I partnered a new esthetician office. I partnered, you know, oh, she's partnering with me. Because that's what it is, right? You don't have to say, I mean, you're partnering with the company and then you're connecting partners with a company. That's what we do. That's what we do, right? And so it's a very easy thing to say. It's very non-threatening. It's very empowering, because it's telling them that it's like taking ownership over it, right? And Laura was up there, Laura Stevens, talking a little bit about in the military community, just how there's a lot of like direct sales happening. And what a difference, like the sort of smaller minded, just slinging product direct sales is versus, you know, I don't even think of like when, and that's great, right? Like jewelry, candles, handbags, all that stuff. Like there's a place for it and I support every single one of them. I have bought every company, I swear. This is partnering. It's like a savvy partnership. And so, you know, when Jessica was talking about this, because I know Jessica has grown, she is like the top, like when you look at the top 50, I don't know, Amanda probably knows, she's jumped the most. She's up in like the 20s now this year. I think she was like number 12 last month. Like I just keep seeing her name climbing because she has these ambitious, savvy, business-minded people partnering with Isagenix because it's a smart idea, right? So take a minute to just think in your brain, like, do you truly, to your core, believe that it is a smart idea to partner with Isagenix? And if so, if your belief level is high, are you getting out there and sharing that? And if it's not, if you're like, gosh, I don't know, do I believe it's a smart idea to partner with Isagenix and it's kind of low? Where do you need to go to work to talk about that? We talked a lot about personal development in the room as well. I was on the panel. They asked which books people most recommend. Sonia Mahfouz said GoPro and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, two very common ones. I said one, Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. If you have not read that one, if you need self-belief and self-love and worthiness and authentic connection and vulnerability and to get rid of shame, real feelings that we all have about ourselves. I mean, if you don't have it, cool. That's amazing. I can't imagine you're on this call and you haven't. Brené Brown to me will help you with that understanding of your own self-belief and self-worth. And then the other one I said is The Servant, which is all about servant leadership. Thank you, Amanda, for putting that in the chat. Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. It's like my all-time favorite. And then The Servant, I think, is a very underrated leadership book. And it's, I don't know who it's by, a very basic name like John Olson or something, Eric Fisher. I don't know. I'm making up names. But The Servant, servant leadership, it will flip when you think, gosh, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not influential, I'm not a leader. It will flip it on its head for you about what it really is, what servant leadership really is, and how, like I said, we can only be successful by helping other people be successful. Okay. Yeah. And then, I mean, Dr. Plant, I mean, we have the best of the best, right? We have Sharon and we have Dr. Plant and we have the Coovers and we have then these field people who come out and they're just incredible. And we have Aaron Wenger and, you know, just running the sales organization, like from like across the board. Okay. Then I do want to share one piece that was also in the room that Cammie Smith did. And it was very powerful. Pretty much everyone, we sat around last night, a bunch of us, just saying like, what were your favorite parts? He talked about, and I want you guys to really take this to heart. Thank you, James Hunter. Very good, Tia. That is a very basic name, and you're right, it's James Hunter. Okay, he said, you don't make winners. You find them. We are not responsible for turning someone into a winner. We are going to find people who are already winners at life, or they have a winning attitude in them, and they just need to find the vehicle to match it to, right? Maybe they're struggling because there's a lot of struggle to success stories in Isagenix, but they're struggling because they haven't found their thing yet. But I truly believe deep inside those people already have the tenacity and the resilience and the grit and the know-how and just that factor of being able to already be a winner, right? And he has 5 attributes of leaders and winners, and I do want to share them with you. Winners work. He basically said, like, they aren't lazy. They show up, right? You don't have to remind them of the little things, right? They just show up. Like, they just show up. They add value in the groups automatically, or they add value in the challenges, or they show up. They know the crystal deadlines and they work towards them, all those things. The second one, winners associate, which is they are ready for the information before it is shared. Hi, love. Shh. They are, sorry, they just got home. Yep. Hi. Okay, be quiet. Love you. Winners associate. They're ready for the information before it is shared. So meaning like they're a sponge, like they're ready to just soak it up, right? Like all of you, you're here. You're like, okay, we're going to learn tonight. I don't even know what she's going to share with me. I watched Celebration, but I know that I'm still learning and I can take more in, right? Like they're a sponge. They're like, they don't believe that I know it all, or, oh, I got that, or, oh, I've already heard that before. They're willing to be there and to show up. Michelle, I love it. Yes. Yes, you guys. The next is winners are not the same today as they were last week. And so they're constant. It's not, they hit a rank and they're like, oh, I did it. There was a lot, and I don't remember if it was the live streamer in the room, but there was a lot of talk about, the people who think they made it. They're like, oh, I hit 2 stars. So I'm good. Like, I don't need it. They kind of get that ego around them versus constantly being humble, plugging in and saying, wow, I can always be learning from these people. I can always be going after new goals and dreams. And I mean, even the, like, think of like a Kathy or Jim Coover, right? I mean, they could act like they know it all, but they're learning all the time. Eric could be like, oh yeah, I've been doing this now. Or Jimmy Smith, right? For so long, Susan Sly, but they're like sitting in the front row learning. So that humility piece. And then leaders listen and engage. They listen and engage. So, and you think about that, they're the ones in the room before the event. They're the ones in the room after the event, probably at your events that you had in Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, all the different places you were having events. They're the ones that are like sitting there having the chats before and after. They're the ones who, they're hungry for that community and that connection piece. And then the last one is winners have an ability to handle the problems and the negative. Because I promise you, negative comes to all of us, you guys. It does. But there are the people who it's constant drama, or it's constantly like, it's just like a magnet to negativity. And then there's the people that, they just handle it. It's like not a big deal. It's like, oh, is that actually like a level 10 problem, or, is a level 2 problem? Some things happen and it's for the same person, it's a 2. It's not a big deal. And for other people, it's a 10, So, I mean, there was a girl there, Ann Fam Medina, had her broken toe that she just broke falling out of the bathtub or something. And she had her big boot on her foot. No big deal, right? She's like, she's just traipsing around in a boot. The second day we were there, we had there was a mask mandate that hit, and they were cracking down big. They like threatened bringing the Department of Health in. So it was like, we have to wear our masks in the room, all of us. And, it's like, do you just take it in stride, or do you, so just the point is, sometimes I think we say, oh my gosh, I've brought all these people and they're not doing anything. And we put too much on ourselves because we're trying to change people into a winner when they maybe just weren't. And he said, I just want you guys to release some of that expectation on yourself. He said, our love is unconditional, but our time, not so much. We can love people, but we cannot be constantly working on dragging and picking up the people who are not choosing to be picked up. Because look at what we have at our fingertips. We have it. Okay. We have it. And if they don't get that, don't spend the time, keep inviting them. I mean, it's like, come to September 11th, come to the event, just come, you're going to see, but at some point you have to say, gosh, maybe I need to find my new class. Maybe I need to go and look for some new winners, and not every winner has to want to join you in Isogenics. I will tell you, I just did a power post right before I left of, our 6-figure income. And some of the comments on there were so kind, and they were people who, I have no idea. They're like newer, like kids, like my kids' friends, parents, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're winners. Like, they're supportive, they're commenting, they're congratulating. They don't even really know what it is that we do. And I was just like, Jake, these are the people we want to surround ourselves with, right? Like, these are the people that, you know, they will show up whether they choose to join Isogenics or not. Like, it's the people who show up big in your life. So I've just been doing a lot of like reflecting on that as well. And then I want you guys, we're going to do like just a 1-minute little exercise that Uwe had us do in the room. So I want you to picture, and I'm going to have you just write a couple little notes to yourself. I want you to picture where you want to be like 6 months from now, 12 months from now. I want you to picture, let's say next year's celebration. Picture next year's celebration, where you want to be. Just picture it, right? Like, what do you want to have accomplished? Maybe it's a certain rank. Maybe it's a certain income level. Maybe it's a certain new number of teammates. Maybe it's a certain number of people with you at celebration. I want you to picture that. I want you to write down something concrete. And now I'll wait a sec. I won't go too fast. And now I want you to picture, I'm pretty sure everyone on here is a woman, so I'll speak in she. I want you to picture her achieving that. And I want you to picture that woman coming to you right now and telling you exactly what it is that you need to do to achieve that. She did it. She's there a year from now. Maybe it's have 15 new people with you at celebration next year. I want that woman to come tell you right now, and I want you to like close your eyes and just, what is she telling you? What is it that you need to do? What is it that you need to do for the next year to create that exact success that you want? Maybe it's executive, maybe it's 2-star, maybe it's Start 1000, maybe it's 15 new builders, maybe it's 5, maybe it's finding your boardroom table of 5. Write down, what is it that what's her advice to you? Write down the advice that she gives you right now. Water. Okay. And I want you to spend some time tonight expanding on that if you need to. The woman inside of you, next celebration, she already knows. Like, you already know. You already have it in you. Like, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to do? I mean, my very first 2 sentences that I wrote to myself, just as an example, is, it's all in you. You don't need to fit in. In fact, you'll be so free and joyful and at peace when you stand out. And then I go on, don't worry about the haters or judgment. Choose a story of good in your business. Stop making sure people like you. You all have your own story. That's my own story. But my woman a year from now knows exactly the advice to give me now. Your woman a year from now knows exactly what you need to do. I believe it. So spend some time hearing her advice tonight. And if ever I was reminded of the importance of in-person events, I can't even tell you how night and day. We agreed, everyone I was talking to this weekend was like, gosh, just sitting behind a screen and watching this is like 7% of the experience. So if that was you this weekend and you were sitting behind a screen, that's okay. Just make a super big commitment to yourself, January 8th and 9th for New Year's kickoff, that you'll be in community, January 8th and 9th. 7th and 8th. We don't have details, but it's January 7th and 8th. And then tonight are the tickets for Celebration. They're $129. I already got Jake's and mine. Orlando is going to be amazing. We are building out of this pandemic. We are building stronger than ever. We are building our legacies. I am happy to be here with you all. If I can help you in any way, let me know. Don't forget tonight, they go up $30 a ticket tomorrow. And then also don't forget about the events that are taking place this fall all over the country. They put up a calendar, but there's Beverly Hills, Traverse City, Michigan, Itasca, Illinois, San Diego, Austin, Texas, Nashville, Philadelphia, Colorado, Spokane, and then of course Minneapolis. Those are the ones that are happening so far. So if I said a city where you have someone, be inviting, because this business is not meant to be built sitting virtual behind a screen. Okay, we've done a good job with it. We've pivoted, but it's time to be in community. That's what I have. Any questions? Anything you guys need right now? That's what I got. Got your 5. I love it.
Yes. The only other thing is our Super Saturday or Live Out Loud in September 11th.
Yep. September 11th. So be sure to register for that, because there's 1,000 tickets, but Emily plans on it being standing room only. So at the back, I mean, once they hit 1,000, and Lynn Hagedorn and Michael Klaus are coming. So that means they're massive team from Nebraska and wherever else they have team, I'm sure will be coming. Even people, Vince Lanier, she lives in North Carolina. She's like, I'm thinking of flying into the Minneapolis event. Like there are people, we have the South Dakota team is coming. We have, Fargo, we have a Fargo team coming. So it's going to be big, and it's also going to be a great spot for your new person to really say, wow, we're not messing around here. Okay. Grateful for all of you. Reach out if you need anything, and make it a great week.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, yes. Michelle, I appreciate that. Michelle and Christine are also hosting that amazing coaching weekend in Madison, September 17th and 18th. I've heard nothing but good things about that, about the coach. I'm super pumped you guys are doing that. It's kind of a big 2-day workshop event. So get in contact with them if you need more info. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.